I am kind of guilty of my conspiracy theories as much as the next guy. But this right here is the one thing that I really want to see on Monster Hunter. Discovered in some ruins, an ancient storage facility. It is possibly the only remaining weapon of war from the age of the Great Dragon War. Today I was reading my Monster Hunter Illustrations book, and there's a few things that I want to speculate that they have a really good chance of being on Monster Hunter Wilds. Things that we never got to see on the series, even though on this book here they seem pretty fleshed out. And the first one is the Gaia Dragon. Now, the Gaia Dragon is a type of dragon called Earth Dragon. You can see it has some sort of moss around it. They even have the stages of the Earth Dragons in Young, Mature, and Elder, which would be the Ground Dragon, Earth Dragon, and Gaia Dragon. You can see a little hunter there running by the side of the dragon, and it's absolutely tiny. We have the variations on the Obsidian, Marsh, and Lava Dragon, and I just think that a monster like this would be very different. You can see that when it's young, on these pictures we have here, it actually has its wings, and it loses it when it grows to turn into this sort of stump. I like the tusks on this monster. I think it's a super interesting concept, and I don't think we quite have seen anything like this, even though we do have other wyverns and dragons, but nothing with long limbs, tusks like that, and a tail like this. I think this is very different. I would really like to see that on Monster Hunter Wilds as an appearance. And the next thing, goblins.
Was that a goblin?
Now, why do I think there could be goblins in Monster Hunter? Well, because the earliest concepts of the Palicos were actually goblins, and many of the races that we see now actually came from this. You can see you have ruins goblins, desert goblins, you have the normal goblins, here more ruins goblins. You can see on all of those drawings they look very different. Well, that's the thing. All those goblins kind of turn into the many races of feline. As an example, I can use the Boa Boa or the Gajalaka, and I think that having goblins like this would be really cool, or maybe even many variations of Gajalaka like I have on Word, but even more new ones, more interesting. And you can see that they actually put a lot of works on this. They have the notes here that the mask is made by hollowing out the pit of a fruit and adding holes. They get together to apply mud paint on each other's masks. Hundreds of notes. I feel like they were never used, and I think there's so many details, and I would just really like to see them on a Monster Hunter game. I'm a sucker for content, so what can I say? The last thing I'm gonna speak about, I was gonna do the jelly frog, this boy here, because I think he's very different, but I am going to tell you guys about something else. This right here is the one thing that I really want to see on Monster Hunter, and it is the Equal Dragon Weapon. The Equal Dragon Weapon was made by an old civilization to wage war against the Elder Dragons, but it was made of remains of dragons, basically a construct made of corpses of dragons, and that enraged the Elder Dragons that fought valiantly against the hunters that were using the Equal Dragon Weapon to bring both the dragons and the human races close to extinction. Now, if that is canonical or not is a little bit discussable, because this is all on the Monster Hunter Illustrations book and not on any of the actual games. So just keep that in mind when you hear all those things that I'm talking about. The canonicality of said book is discussable, but those are drawings and text made by the actual Monster Hunter team. So for me, I would say they are pretty much canon. That was it for my expectations for Wild coming from Monster Hunter Illustrations 1. And if you'd like to see my takes from Monster Hunter Illustrations 2, or maybe more interesting things from this book, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.